Hey, it's me again. In this lesson, we're going to learn to draw our characters. Yes! Let's start with the quick sketches. This image is the one of the references of the crane pose I chose. The first thing we are going to do is draw the motion line. Remember that we can scale the drawing up and down so that it fits in the canvas. To do so, you just need to press Ctrl T to transform the image. At this point, we need to bring to mind everything we learned about quick 1-minute drawings. Remember that we learned to make quick sketches, and this is what we are going to do with this pose. After that, we are going to add the clothing, but that's up to you. You may include the same that in the picture or use other references that you like to draw the uniform. So, when our first sketch is ready, what we are going to do is create a second layer and draw on it using a darker tone. Another option is work on the same layer and same pen and only increase the opacity of the brush. I'm going to use the same brush for the sketches and the inking process. You'll find it attached in a file in Notepad. As you can see, when working on the sketch, we are using a low opacity, around 20%. However, we are going to blow it up to 50% or 60% when adding details. To change these values, you can go to the panel above, where you'll find the brush values. Or if you prefer, you can use the numbers of your keyboard, which are shortcuts and are really useful. One of the advantages of having a picture as a reference to draw the pose is that the pose is already fixed and we don't have to invent it. In this case, the arms and face anatomy can be appreciated clearly. However, we need to know a little bit more about the anatomy of legs and the torso if we want to draw them correctly. Therefore, I recommend that you research and learn about it. You'll also find attached a file with some recommendations of books about basic anatomy. You'll also make sure that the main shapes are the same that in the image. With this, I mean that the pose is similar in both cases, although we decide to modify the angle of some limbs to make it more eye-catching. In my case, for instance, I've drawn the leg a bit more bent than in the original. Let me give you an advice. When drawing the facial features, the expressions, hairstyles, and clothing, it's better if you practice with other references before. This way you'll give more personality to your drawing and will make it special. You can try with the picture on the screen if you want. It's up to you. Right now, as you can see, I'm adding details that don't appear in the original, like the huge necklace around the neck. Also, I'm going to change the hairstyle a little bit. I'm going to draw it longer. The inferior part of the head will be shaved, and the rest of the hair is going to be longer and tied back in a bun. Perfect! After finishing the sketch, we are going to draw the corresponding animal just under the character as a sort of background for the pose. This way we can compare both the character and the animal and see how they are represented. To make the animal, you need to bring to mind what we talked about animals. Apart from this, I recommend that you take a reference image with a pose that you like, as it's going to ease the process. Also, you could make it without help even when you master the animal drawing. When the animal is done, we'll need to move it to a proper position. To do so, we can use the shortcut V. That would be the arrow. We can also change the size by pressing Ctrl T. Okay, the next character we are going to draw is the snake pose. In the picture that appears on the screen, it can be appreciated the snake style. From this point, the first thing we are going to do are the motion lines, and then we'll move on to the quick drawing as we learned in a previous lesson. Remember, in less than a minute, we'll have to draw the pose. Guys, when making a sketch, especially of a person, since it's something we are familiar with, don't start with the details. First, begin adding basic geometric shapes as a base. So, the procedure would be as follows. First, the spine and motion lines, then draw the basic geometric shapes, and after that, add volume and detail to the sketch. This is something crucial when drawing anything else. We can't put the cart before the horse because it will fall. It will be great to make loose strokes so that the sketch looks like the strokes used by animators. In my case, my drawing has a cartoonish style. This is why the use of loose strokes suits perfectly. Guys, I want you throughout the course to listen yourselves up. For this reason, I recommend that you use this method when drawing. Okay, let's make the head. However, in this case, I've decided to make the hair loose in order to add movement to the image. Okay, for the facial features, you can use the reference you have or use other features you fancy. It depends on your style. You can search on the internet for people you like and copy the features. And not only for the face, the same for the clothing. We don't need to represent the same uniform that the image. As we've studied different types of clothing, we can take advantage of it and use them for our character. In my case, I'm going to draw a long and big tunic and over it a sash. Okay, I've made this sketch with a low opacity and now, as you can see, I've increased the opacity of the brush. I'm drawing over the previous sketch to add more details. We can add stuff like small buttons, bracelets, or I don't know, any other thing that comes to our mind. It's important to add a personal touch to the drawing. In order to do so, we need to make use of our imagination and use all those elements that may look fine in the drawing. After finishing the basic drawing, the next step is drawing the animal behind the character. What we are going to do is to select an animal that we like and fit in with the character's anatomy. Let's make basic lines and keep drawing. In this case, the girl is bent, simulating a snake curled up and raising its head. For this reason, I've picked this image, since the pose is quite similar. Guys, pay attention to this, because the image needs to fit in with the sketch we already have and the confused style. Remember everything we learned about animals' anatomy. It will help you to draw the head and the body of the animals. In this case, the snake. So guys, when you finish the drawing, place it behind the sketch of the character by pressing V, which is the arrow, or Ctrl T. So here are the sketches of our two characters. And this is the result that we got from this lesson. In the next one, we are going to learn how to ink the characters. So, hope this lesson was useful. See you in the next video. Bye!